Asia channel. And today I have my lovely, lovely community leader, Carol Gockel. Yes, welcome, Carol.
Hey,
Carol
thank
is a
you.
confidence coach, and then not only a confidence coach, but also a brand and marketing consultant, as well as, of course, the community leader with Women of Courage Asia. So, how are you, Carol?
I am feeling wonderful. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. And Lillian, thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, today is our last episode
Mm.
to this series, Free from the Prison Without Bar series. Yeah, it is a 13 uh, part series, and today we are wrapping this episode. Right. So it has been a journey. The
Mm.
Transform with Courage bootcamp has been a very enriching journey. So we are going to share a little bit more about our reflections, our takeaways, and our learnings. Right. You have heard from all the participants that have attended the boot camp, and both Carol and myself, um, we were the facilitators, and as well as yeah, we participated in some of the segments as well, right?
Yeah.
Because there are more than two of us as a facilitator.
Mm.
Mm. So let's talk about that. All right.
Yeah.
But before we go into that, one question that I um, would like to ask for the audience to get to know you a little bit more. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Mm. Well, I am local Singaporean, married to an expat. Hence, my surname is Gockel. That's my married name. I'm a mother of two. I have two kids, a girl and a boy, 10 years old and then 8 years old. So, how I got started as a confidence coach was because growing up, I didn't have a lot of confidence. I have all sorts of labels being placed onto me, telling me how I should behave, how I should live my life, and I didn't have an identity. And eventually, I sought validation from from a man, whom I married eventually. And that I thought that was my identity, but in the end, it turned out to be a psychologically abusive marriage for over 13 years. And when that was over, I've decided, that I need to live a more confident life, be confident in my own thoughts, the way I carry myself and the way I present myself. And hence, I'm a confidence coach, helping women to be confident, in order to find clarity in their life so that they can live the life that they want without any restraint and with freedom.
Yeah, wow. And you also actually wrote a book, right? Can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about the book?
Yeah. Okay. The book, if I could just bring it out here. Okay. It is a co-authoring effort with someone that I've actually admired from afar for a long time, Les Brown. So the title of the book is called Breakthrough. It is a collaboration and global stories of, I would say, authorities, and I'm very, very honored to be asked to be part of this project. And I'm being the first and only, Singaporean to be included on this project with Les Brown. Les Brown has been one of the distant mentors that I have followed for a long time. His teaching, his motivational speeches is known all across the world. Yeah, so this is where I share my story for the very first time in written form of what I went through, and hoping that this particular book and the stories within this book will be able to inspire and help women, to step out of their fear. Yeah, as
Mm,
what Lilian has said, step out of their fear and be more confident to transform to lead the life that they really want.
mm. And besides, I mean, the first step was to share your story in the book, and subsequently you went on to share it through public speaking, right? To share,
Yes.
yes, and on different platforms. And so, how was that experience like for you?
Well, the very first one, writing the book was actually a relief in a way because I never had an opportunity or a platform to let it out. So it was a healing process for me while going through the journey of the book writing process. And then by being able to share it publicly on speaking platform, and I shared it on Women of Courage Asia, and that allowed me to recognize, the privilege that I've been given to be able to share this story. It is not to impress others, but actually to impress upon other women who might be going through a similar situation, to tell them that there is hope. And this is what we're trying to do here, with Women on Courage Asia, to helping women, to tell them that, there's an opportunity for you to speak your mind, and there is hope, and we are here to provide you with the support.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rise from the ashes, right? Whatever
Rise from the
challenges,
ashes.
yes, whatever challenges that you're going through, or have gone through, but yet you still feel very trapped, you still feel, um, like very stuck.
Mm.
Yeah, this community is where it's a safe place. We put a lot of effort in creating to ensure that it is a safe place for women to come together and
Yes.
share and inspire and empower, right? So, I always like to remind everyone that it is not a pity party meeting. It is an empowering session where you share from a victor's mindset.
Indeed.
Yes, yeah, and above and beyond the community, which is the monthly empower meeting, which is pro bono. We also but that's under the community. But here right now is under class living, so which is a social enterprise, right? And we do focus on empowering women through coaching, mentoring, yeah, and community building. And one of the programs that we run is Transform with Courage Bootcamp.
Yes.
So I am very glad and to have Carol, coming on board together to launch this Transform with Courage Bootcamp this year, and it has, the result that we are witnessing is so encouraging, right? And therefore, we are also going to actually continue this bootcamp, right, every year, and the next bootcamp will be happening in April next year,
Mm-hmm.
2022. Yeah. So, Carol, before we jump further into the bootcamp reflection, there's one more thing I want to find out about you, or rather, let the audience get to know more about you, and that is about investing in yourself. What was your mindset about attending boot camps, or have you attended any boot camps, especially only women only kind of boot camp?
Okay. Well, women only bootcamp, actually no. What we have developed for Transform with Courage bootcamp was the very first one, and it's really 100% women focused. Well, in terms of like bootcamp, I would say it's personal development weekend. I've attended quite a fair bit. Usually it runs from a Friday and then to Sunday, so it's a weekend. I would say workshop. In that workshop, started about 13 years ago. That was my very first one. Then that was
Mm,
my first. It was actually my friend who introduced me to do it. She's like, oh, just come with me, and I don't know what I was getting myself into, and I was my mind was blown. Yeah.
mm-hmm,
So that was what I didn't. That's when I realized that there's actually this such a thing called personal development program. I mean, it's like growing up. You go to school to learn a specific skill set in order to contribute. Right?
mm,
There's no courses or any learning and education that you can get from school to teach you how to actually expand your mind. Yeah,
mm,
and then to actually to deal with feelings as well. So
mm-hmm,
that was my first foray, and then subsequently I was hooked. Then I make sure that I realize what are all the missing gaps, how I can actually look in within myself in order to be a better person every day. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
I think we are very blessed to be born and brought up in Singapore, where
Mm.
um, the education system. We are. I think majority of the children here in Singapore do receive education. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yes.
academically wise, in terms of education, academically wise, we are very blessed.
Yes.
Yeah. But personally, I feel the same way as well. Like growing up, I didn't know what is personal development. The only thing that I know about, like invest in yourself or take care of yourself, is go for massage, go mani-pedi, facial, or get yourself some nice clothing. Yeah, I think that is part and parcel. That is a part of
Yes.
taking care of yourself. But taking care of yourself and investing and developing and growing yourself is more than just that, right? So after getting into this journey, of course, the more we learn that there's so much that we don't know,
Yeah, indeed.
right? Yeah, and share with the audience a little bit of um, how this. Can you hear me? How this book
Yeah.
actually?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Yeah, can
Oh, okay, kind of lost you a
the
little bit.
audience about how this boot camp actually came about?
Well, how it came about. Okay, I think the audience should know. Okay, the idea actually came from Lillian. She was doing her morning walk, and then she decided to record a video into our Women of Courage Asia group chat. She said, "Hey, I just had this idea that we should come together and then to create something that is for women by women, and then we should call it, maybe perhaps just name it a retreat that we come together, in order to grow our minds, and then we can create a system, a supporting system for us to learn from each other all the various skill set to grow, continue our personal growth as women." So that was how, and then I had this spurt of genius in a way, because when I first started my journey, I had wanted to run like a female women retreat. Yeah, that was actually what I call it as well. A retreat is where women come together. When we talk about women specific and women focused kind of a personal development, because a lot of the personal development programs that I've actually attended since 13 years ago, they are all, it's quite generic. There's not targeted by gender in anything, any way whatsoever. So I also realized that there's actually a few gaps. In the beginning, there were gaps like, after the entire weekend, you feel really powerful. But then, the thing is, what's next? What's the follow up? There's no follow up, first of all. And then so in the beginning, I was really, really excited. And then I started going through the journey. And then after that, life got in the way, right? There's no support, right? There's not life got in the way. Then there's no accountability in any way whatsoever as well. So I went back to my old self. So I had to go through multiple times in order to really take that big step on really going through that change and taking action for the change that I want to have for my life. And then, and also because women, we are very, very special beings. We are very special beings, and we have this intuition. We have a certain way of how we interact with other people, the people around us, our community, our family. Then we are also softer. We are nurturers, but there are also many different facets to women, right? So create having all these generic ones that I've attended. I can't say for other people that I've attended. I realize that there are certain parts that is not doesn't apply to me as a female. I find it a little bit difficult to understand, and some of them are too masculine for me to feel to really want to take action. It kind of like I actually shut down after I felt that is a bit too masculine, or rather like too overpowering as well. So that was what was restricting, and I thought having this for specifically for women to understand women's need as and all the various roles that we have in our life, role as a daughter, as a sister, right, as a mother, as a girlfriend, and so this all these various roles all make combine to define who we are as a person. And we can't just take it out that okay, I am a businesswoman and this is this piece of me. Yes, we can compartmentalize. However, it is not the entire um real look at who we really are as a person. So I really wanted to create something that encompasses everything, including the mind, the heart, and the spirit. But because I was alone, it's just an idea, thinking that maybe when I have the money, when I make money, then I have a team, I can employ people to do that. And then when Dillian said, let's do this, let's combine our resources and do this. And I thought that was a sign that this is finally happening. And I have a wonderful partner to do this with, which is Lillian, who admired as well. So yeah, there you
Thank
go. This is
you.
the reason.
Yeah, I think this idea, I mean, we both, after the conversation, we both came to realize that we actually has this idea in us for the longest time, right? It was a seed that has been in us. Uh, but yeah, timing is important, right?
Yeah.
The team is important, right? So I think through this, one thing that the one takeaway for our audience is that, don't get discouraged when you have an idea and you cannot immediately materialize it,
Yeah.
right? Oftentimes the idea is a seed, right? And it takes time to grow, to nurture, and before you actually give, or rather liken it to giving birth. Yeah, so it's
Mm.
like Transform with Courage boot camp is like, to me, it's like giving birth. That
Yeah.
finally, it happened, and it's going to continue to impact more women, right? Yeah, we're going to continue to ensure that the program, the curriculum, whatever segments that we put inside, it will only get better and better.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm also very, very blessed and honored to have Carol to do this together, and of course the
Okay.
other facilitators that we invited on board,
Mm.
right? So yes, that's the history. That's the history of how Transform with Courage Bootcamp came about. So yes, because we are women, so we look into the specific needs and gaps, that women need, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a friend here. Hi, Angela.
Hello,
Hello.
Angelia. Hi.
As well as Sri. Sri, hello.
Hi, Sri. Yeah. Both
Right.
courageous, wonderful women.
Yes. Yeah. I think courage is contagious.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the next question for ourselves,
Yeah.
right? Be it participating, be it organizing, be it developing, what what do you think is your takeaway from this? I think the question that I posed to the ladies was about their SMART goal, right?
Mm.
Because they all, like you said, like you mentioned earlier, um, those retreats that we attended, um, there is generic, and then after that, we don't experience follow up, right? The
Mm.
follow up system, yeah. That's why we saw this gap. That's why we included a 3 months support system, right, after the boot camp. And for the ladies, they had they need to put their goal into action,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so that's where they get to learn more about themselves. So how about yourself?
Mm.
You know, throughout this boot camp, after the 3 days in the hotel, the 3 months, the
Mm.
journey, what did you learn about yourself? Even continuing providing that support and working with the ladies, what did you learn about yourself through this process?
Through this process, well, I think I would need to include during the whole planning process. There was resistance definitely, because there's also some negative self talk that's coming up. Like, maybe you're just not ready. Because the reason that it took me 7 years to finally do this, besides the manpower, but there's also having this slight nagging voice in my mind that you may not be good enough. You are still you're still working towards it. Yeah, so I am actually in waiting. So that was, and then when it finally hit me that this is going to be real, then self-doubt set in, fear did set in as well. So the whole process, when we are going through, as a team, and I'm so glad that I have you as a teammate, as also a fellow sister to run this together with. So we encourage each other throughout this whole journey, and realize that this is very, very important, because it's bigger than me. It's bigger than the community. It's really for everybody out there. And I felt I was being chosen to do that, and that I didn't feel that I had the right tools, because I've seen so many people out there, other women out there, who are so much powerful. I mean, we have two really, really powerful guest facilitators and trainers, for the event that I look up to. And then I was like, wow, compared to them, who am I? Right? When they have so much more experience than I have. Like, of course, it's like their experience is completely different from my arena. And I had to learn to trust myself throughout the whole
Mm.
process. And after going through the entire weekend, first of all, there was a sign of relief that whatever that I have accomplished, whatever that I have, all the experience and the skill set that I have garnered over the past 8, 9 years, in order to contribute to this bootcamp, I've come to a fruition of a dream, and realize that this is the process that I need to go through in order to deliver, in order to give. So when the idea first came about many years ago, about 7 or 8 years ago, and I realized that I was actually in training to lead up to this, and I felt really empowered and fulfilled. But at the same time, looking at the aha moments that's reflected on the participants, and seeing how they have transformed from the first day I met them until the last day, how confidence that the confidence that is exuding in them, and then they know that they can take on the world, and then having this understanding that they are continue to going to really impact the world in their
Mm.
own special way. And I feel very privileged as well to be able to be part of that, to be able to witness that too. Yeah. And then also, I witness how powerful you are, Lillian, as well as you deliver. And the whole, I mean, if I can't really put a specific word to it. I felt that besides accomplish and achievement, and it's like, finally I can give myself a pat on the shoulder and say, okay, well done. I've done this. So how can I actually do more? Yeah, that's how I feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing your heart and and being so open about how you feel. Yeah, I think that's the whole goal of this journey together. Not just the boot camp, but the community as well, where we really creating a safe space for women to exercise being courageous, and that includes myself. Um, as we plan and develop this program. Yeah, you're right. There are voices, negative voices that come and disturb you, right? Whether you can do this and so there are. But it's how we react to that, or how we respond to those voices, how we reframe them, and keep moving on. And because we put on a mindset of a lifelong learner, and the mindset is a growth mindset. So the more we learn that we don't know a lot of things,
Mhm.
but we are on this journey of learning and applying. Not just keep learning, but learn and shelve it somewhere. Yeah, and the more we apply, the more we uh, can fine tune and get better with how we deliver it, and definitely training, basic training, fundamental trainings. We have
Mm.
all we got ourselves trained and all that, but it's the application
Yeah.
that really requires the courage, right, to really step out there and put this dream into reality. Making this dream into reality. So that itself also was a challenge for me. Yeah, and yeah, I learned that as I focus on the participants, focus on the ladies. So the mindset is about, if I focus on the participants, how can I add value in their life? How can I create this safe space for them? How can I help them to gain that awareness? Every topic, every subject matter, the focus is on the recipient,
Mm.
and so it actually take away all the anxieties, and yeah, it take away all the anxiety and fear, because the focus was on adding value to the ladies that are there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was a huge lesson for me to
Yes.
hold on to that, so that we will continue to find ways and improve ourselves to add value to others,
Yeah.
right? Okay, I also saw how powerful you came forth, the leading your segment. And yeah, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about attitude.
Mm,
Yeah, because I think, of course, we are all very different individuals with different personality. So to me, attitude, especially in the area of investing in yourself.
mm,
Yeah. So can you share a bit about your attitude before and what before you realized that the importance of investing in yourself? What was your attitude like?
mm. Well, the attitude is like, why do I need to continue learning, right? Yeah, that was the first thing when I first started. Why do I need to continue learning? I've spent a good 20 years of my life in traditional academic education,
Mm,
right? Why do I need to continue, to still putting in money, right, to learn? Is I haven't I already learned enough? So that was the attitude that I adopted until,
mm,
of course, when I was dragged to the very first personal development program. Then I realized that you know what I have been taught in school is different from this.
mm,
Then and that's where I realized, okay, maybe I need to explore a little bit. But of course, there's still certain resistance, wondering, whether if this person has what it takes, right? Because in school you have certified teachers, right? They have specific system, to certify. But then when it comes to all these trainers, um, people like, say for example, Les Brown, right? That I was able to do the book project with. He's not a certified. There's nobody to certify his capability to motivate and empower others. So then there's just so many people out there. I wonder, I didn't have a lot of trust. So I thought I knew better. So I always have this, maybe I know better. I want to do all the research. I know better than everybody else. Then subsequently, people put me in my place. Yeah, put me in my place. Then I also realized that yes, there has certain skill set is required. But however, what I want to look at is actually the result that they delivered. Then it is true. Then I realized that I really don't know what I don't know. The so-called research,
mm,
I don't even know where to even find it. But looking at the testimonials and all the transformation and people that I witnessed who have gone through personal development themselves and actually went through the whole transformation, then I realized that yeah, this is something that I need to grow, because if I stop growing, then that means I would die, as in die in terms of the mindset. I'm stuck in that plane. Then what's next for me in terms of my life? I actually felt empty. So, and that's why I kind of like became a little of a personal development junkie in a way. Oh, this is something that's interesting. I want to learn this. I want to learn this. I want to learn this. Then finally, after a while, decided, okay, I need to be able to focus in terms of what to fill the gaps and look within myself first. What are the gaps in terms of for myself that I want, then it's not about skills, it's skills based. In fact, initially I started out with all the skills based kind of a learning. Then I
mm,
realized the skills are just tools.
yep,
And if I don't have the mindset, if I did
mm,
not have this mindset and to train my mind and the way I perceive things,
yep,
then I will not be able to use the tools. And then that's where
yeah,
I did the reset. I really reset. So
mm,
every time when I go for all these programs, I go back to student mode. I will not say I've done something similar. I know better. I will always go back, to just to really empty myself and then to receive, because each
mm,
time you go back, the message is different. Yeah,
mm,
because I mean, then that is actually the way that I would gauge my own personal growth. Like, a few
mm,
years ago, I've been onto this course, and then doesn't mean that, I can't come back to it, to the same course a few years later, because
mm.
you never know what's your takeaway, because I have actually journeyed, different phases
Yes,
of my life. Yeah. So
yes,
that's why. So there's no such thing as, oh, you have done this program, then you don't have to do it anymore. It's always to
yeah.
revisit. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Like it applies to the same thing about reading a book.
Mm,
I will read the book over and over again, and every time I go back to read, I learn something new about it that I didn't see it back then. Yeah, and like you said, it's very true. I totally agree. We are growing in our life. So every time when I go back and read that book, I'm seeing it from a different perspective and different, with different experiences. Therefore, I will look at things differently.
Mm.
Yeah. And I think mindset is such a very important pillar. While you were sharing, it just brought back to a memory where I was in my schools, in secondary school. I was trained in basketball. You say skill set, right? So I play sports and I played the basketball. And of course, you can acquire the skills of dribbling, pivoting, shooting, and all that stuff. Yeah, so that's the skill training. However, when it comes to the mindset, yeah, because especially we are playing it competitively, representing the school team, play competitively, right? The pressure, of the competitiveness and as well as the tenacity, the resilience, yeah, to go through that training, yeah, and of course it boils down to the mindset.
Mm.
What are you there for? When you step into, in fact, the moment you put on the sportswear,
Yeah.
wow, I think that's where you need to start anchoring yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
start to adjust that mindset. Yeah. So I think personally for me, my first attitude and learning in personal development really started from being in the basketball team.
Mm.
And I've learned that mindset is that key uh, to actually um, to be able to achieve that goal, to be resilient and to focus on the goal, yeah, and therefore achieving it. Yeah. So yeah, mindset is, that's why we advocate so much about mindset.
Yes.
Right. You can be the most skillful in your in your craft,
Mm-hmm.
but if your mindset is so negative, and yeah, whatever skill set you have, it may not last and may not be able to achieve the goal in the end, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. So that applies to life as well. So yeah, so very important. Have a check in with your own mindset, right? Ask yourself lots and lots of challenging questions.
Mm-hmm.
Be brutally honest with yourself, right? And if you need support in those questions, yeah, both Carol and I, we can actually provide that platform for you, right? You can connect with us, right, to jumpstart that process. Yeah.
Mm.
Right. Last but not least, Carol, now that the boot camp is over,
Mm-hmm.
even the support, the 3 month support period is over, what are you looking forward to?
Mm. Well, I'm always looking for the next step because we talked about having level 2 for
Mm,
the first group of participants, and it's definitely in the works right now. So for those who have actually attended, they know that there's actually level 2 coming up. So for those who are thinking about Transform with Courage Bootcamp for April next year, so you know that there is actually a continuous growth because you can't stop growing end of the day,
yes.
and yeah, so there's continuous growth. And also, once you worked on yourself, right, what is the next step? The next step is about expanding to outwards. Yeah, so I'm
Mm,
really excited about expanding outwards, and also excited that I get to stretch myself the next step as well. Because again, the focus is not about me. The focus is
mm,
what that I have, what kind of tools that I have right now, and my own personal experience that I've achieved, the breakthroughs throughout my journey that I can actually share, that I can share
mm,
with all the participants that is to come, and to
mm.
continue supporting women.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is where our passion is,
Mhm.
right? And Angela was saying something about both of you have good synergy. Not easy to find someone who share the same mindset and passion. Yes, Angela, I totally agree with you. Yeah, it's very, very rare that we can find uh, someone that we can have such good synergy.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Sri said that she loves the way you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Passion is what keeps us going. as well. But having that purpose in life will actually help us to stay focused in that direction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep fanning your passion. Don't let your passion die off.
Mm.
Yeah, and be open to collaborate um, instead of competing. We
Mm.
advocate collaboration. Yeah, and then you will find someone that you can be in sync with.
Yeah, just like the both of us, we thought about doing it on our own at first, maybe when, then finally, yeah, we just suddenly have a power team, like
Mhm.
within a short span of a few weeks that worked on
Yeah,
the whole thing for us.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I like the focus that we are both into. Like I think I texted you one day like courage and confidence are buddies. Yeah. So yes, I'm a courage coach, and Carol is a confidence coach, and together you have courage and confidence.
Yeah, I mean,
Power
all of
team.
this come hand in hand. It comes hand in hand. Yeah.
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 Right. And last question. Last
Hmm.
question before we wrap this up.
Yeah.
Who do you think should join the Transform with Courage Bootcamp?
Who do I think? Well,
Mm,
of course, I would say that it is specifically for all women, right? Okay.
mm-hmm.
In particular, I would say women who are at their crossroads looking for answers. That would be the first group that will require this, because I was introduced to personal development when I was at a crossroad in my life, and that
Mm,
completely changed my direction. Um, in terms of the way I make choices in my life, and that is very important because we don't want
mm,
to go into a vicious cycle, or to go down this downward spiral as well. So that is important to break that. Women who are entrepreneurs or
mm,
transitioning from corporate into entrepreneurship,
mm,
that would be a very important piece to actually keep them going, because we have so many things happening in our lives as women, right? The various
yeah.
roles that we play. So it
Yeah.
is required to have that mindset and also have that accountability. That's what I meant, in the past. I had the accountability to know the step by step how to actually balance everything out in our lives.
Mm,
Yeah. And then, women who are feeling stuck. I think this is the third group of women who are feeling stuck, looking for a way. Then, because a lot of the times we cannot see our own blind spots.
mm,
Yeah, we can't see our own blind spot, and we will actually require, in fact, for me, in fact, I can't see my own blind spot, so I will require a coach. Even right now I'm doing coaching, I have my own coach, I have my own mentor as well, that
yeah.
I go to, to
Yeah.
be a mirror, to reflect onto me, to see. So in order for me to see myself,
Yeah.
then, so people who are women who are thinking that, okay, I'm stuck, still looking for a way, then it is important for you to be able to come to this boot camp, right?
Mm,
To have that mirror being reflected onto you. Yeah.
mm,
And also importantly, to grow with a group of people, because we are not meant to be alone in this world. We are not.
yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
meant to grow, in a community. Then, it's more powerful that you have running buddies, you have
Mm,
accountability partner together, who are going through the same similar situation, similar struggles with you, to help you to rise up.
mm.
So these are the three groups of women. So I guess it really encompasses, in fact, everybody,
Yes.
every woman. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we all have different struggles. Yeah. Someone
Mm.
wants a breakthrough. Some are very stuck. Some, yeah, like all those that you have mentioned earlier. So if you resonate with any of the description that Carol has mentioned earlier, yeah, don't hesitate. Sign up. I mean, go and check out the bootcamp uh, website. Yeah, it's in classliving.com.sg/ Transform with Courage Bootcamp 2022.
Mm.
Okay, so the link inside is included in the description under this video. So we look forward to meeting you, right? To getting to know you and supporting you in
Yeah,
achieving your goals. And that will be happening in April 2022.
indeed.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes,
really looking forward to that.
yeah. And, we do have plans to bring this overseas,
Yes.
but yeah, we'll wait till the pandemic is over. And then we'll talk about that, right? So currently, it is still happening locally here in Singapore. right?
Mm.
Okay. Wow, time flies.
Yes.
We really got to go, and we are very, very happy that uh, this series has come to an end. But even happier that we are launching a new series.
Mhm.
Okay, so Carol and I, and plus Anita, we will be discussing and we will be releasing the next series very soon. So stay tuned. Stay tuned in our channel, which still will be every Tuesday and Thursday.
Mhm.
Okay, every Tuesday and Thursday, same time, same channel. All right. See you.
See you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.